Hey, this is Carrie from Mad About Animals, and today I'd like to talk about something I consider to be a fairly big problem within the vegan movement, and that's people experiencing guilt, shame, or feeling the need to keep silent or be apologetic about their lifestyle. All too often, I'll witness other vegans advising one another that, be it in social or familial situations, it's best to avoid the subject of veganism altogether, so as not to cause an argument or any offence to meat, dairy, and egg eaters, even when they're directly challenging you about it. There are numerous situations in which this arises, and for many, jibes and harassment from friends and family is, sadly, a daily occurrence. Which is why Nigel and I always recommend activism as a means of surrounding yourself with other like-minded individuals who will be able to offer support. But the most common time these feelings of guilt and general hesitancy to mention veganism seems to crop up is in the lead up to family dinners or parties and get-togethers, like weddings or Christmas. Another time the issue seems to blow up is when parents make the decision to raise their children vegan, and extended family members feel they have a right to dictate whether this is acceptable or not. The fact remains, regardless of what situation you find yourself in, regardless of whether your friends and family approve or disapprove of your lifestyle, as a vegan, you should never feel guilty, embarrassed, or apologetic, and nor should you ever keep silent. If it were black or Jewish people that your family were oppressing, willfully paying for their torment, as is the case with animal products, would you feel justified in speaking up? You would, wouldn't you? The very definition of speciesism is thinking that because we're only talking about the lives of animals, though there's no shortage of human suffering due to animal agriculture, I hasten to add, that their suffering is somehow insignificant, or that our feelings of despair are simply ridiculous. Not too long ago, the same ignorant attitudes would have been directed towards the coloured men, women and children who simply asked that they be recognised as sentient human beings. I ask you to cast your mind back and imagine what it must have been like to be someone who openly supported the rights of coloured people, back when slavery was rife and segregation was common. Do you not think they would have been repeatedly mocked, belittled, shunned, and, in many cases, persecuted? Now can you imagine what the world would look like today if those people hadn't valued their ethics above keeping the peace and pleasing their social circle? It doesn't really bear thinking about, does it? Can you imagine a world where Jewish people were still being rounded up and sent to gas chambers, purely because people believed it was justified? I mean, we shouldn't challenge the people doing it after all, because that's their choice to do so. Can you imagine a world, at least a Western world, where women were still considered to be beneath men and the property of their father, their brother, or their husband, with no legal rights against being physically, mentally, or sexually abused? Can you imagine living here in the UK and witnessing gay people being hung in the street for simply loving another human being of the same sex? Now, I'm not saying these oppressions are eradicated the world over, nor am I saying that sexism, racism, or homophobia doesn't exist within our country. Of course it does. But, by and large, most would agree now that these things are morally wrong, and we will speak up when we see it. The point is, if it weren't for the brave men and women who stood up against seemingly insurmountable opposition to say these things were unacceptable, we'd be living in a very different society today. Undoubtedly one that would negatively affect at least one of your most ardent meat-eating loved ones. For example, your coloured or mixed-race father who scoffs at the merest suggestion of animal rights, forgets that he, had he been born just decades earlier, would have been thought of as an animal himself, and given little more consideration than the chicken who died for the flesh on his plate. Same goes for your hard-working brother or husband, who like to spend their weekends pumping iron or reading books. Neither one would have been possible if the starving, poverty-stricken working men 100 years ago hadn't fought for the seemingly absurd right to rest, recreation, and education. And the mother who constantly criticises your choice to be or raise your children vegan forgets she would have been bound to her abusive husband for the rest of her life, if it were not for the women who gave their lives for something deemed just as laughable as veganism is nowadays. Same goes for your high-flying best friend, who would not be able to earn a living or travel the globe as she pleases in her spare time. Equally, her unmarried sister with 3 kids belonging to 2 different fathers would have been shunned and denied all help from anywhere which didn't seek to vilify her further. As for your bisexual best friend who thinks animal rights are in no way comparable to human rights, I mean, need I stress the point? So please, fellow vegans, firstly, never encourage silence. Would you want silence if it was your rights, your life, or the lives of your children that we were fighting for? Black Lives Matter supporters, feminists, the LGBTQ society, they are not silent. Vegans, we are the voice of the animals. We are their activists, so never, ever berate yourself for using your voice for those who are being needlessly and mercilessly exploited, abused, and murdered. It's true that you are not going to win any popularity contests, but popularity and morality have seldom ever gone hand in hand. And I'm not always saying it's easy, particularly where our loved ones are concerned. But again, what is right and what is easy isn't usually one and the same. I suppose the big question is, which matters most to you? Your likability in the eyes of those causing suffering, or doing the right thing by yourself and those being hurt? If you're vegan, truly vegan, I think you and I both know the answer. We as consumers, as citizens, as people, shape societal norms. We have the ability to do that. We have the power to change perspectives. Please don't waste that extraordinary gift. Trust in yourself, trust in your ethics, and stand firm for the animals. You are on the right side of history.